Something is seriously wrong with this sleep app. This just happened to me this morning, and I'm genuinely afraid for my life right now. My parents are scared to let me leave the hotel room we're in, since we have no clue where it is. For all we know, it's already in the room. I don't know what to do at this point except post this story and warn you all. About a month ago, I downloaded a sleep tracker. I don't necessarily sleep poorly, but I was intrigued by the thought of what my sleep patterns were like. After a little bit of searching on the App Store, I found a sleep tracker that had a perfect 5 stars. It had a few hundred reviews, and none of them looked botted or fake, so I downloaded it. The app was just called Sleep Tracker 2023, uploaded by a company named Sleep Tracker App, which was an odd name to me, but it wasn't anything too strange. I set it up that night. The way it worked, and I assume how most of these apps work, is that you'd put your phone next to your pillow and click the button that said bedtime. After that, you'd set an alarm, turn off your phone, and go to bed. It would track your breathing patterns throughout the night, and in the morning, you'd get an overview of how you slept. It showed you how long you snored, how long it took you to fall asleep, all of the basic things. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary yet, and it was fun seeing my sleep data every morning. After a few weeks, the first odd occurrence happened. One morning I woke up, and there was a new section in the data section, labeled audio. I clicked on it, curious, and I saw 3 audio samples taken from throughout the night. All of them were about 5 seconds long, and each had a time stamp on them, with each sample being about 2 hours apart. I clicked on the first one, and heard me snoring extremely loudly for the full 5 seconds. I knew I snored, but I didn't know it was that loud. I clicked on the second one, and I heard me roll over, and then fart into the microphone, which got a giggle out of me. I clicked on the third one, and heard me just mumbling in my sleep. Barely any of it was coherent, except for something about missing schoolwork, which was funny because I just graduated the past year. The only thing really weird about this was that I couldn't find a mention of it in the patch notes, and there was no text tutorial for it like all the other features, but I quickly brushed that aside. I figured they had just forgotten to mention it in the update, and since it was a part of the sleep data, it didn't really necessitate a tutorial of its own. Everything after that was relatively normal. All of the audio recordings were pretty mundane, most just being me snoring. A little bit after this, about a week, someone had broken into our neighbor's house and robbed him, which shook up my parents pretty badly. My dad ended up going out and buying a bunch of those security cameras that you connect to with an app and can see through them on your phone. Everyone in the house was connected to it, since each of us were home alone often, so I could check the cameras at any point. Then something really odd happened. It was maybe 2 weeks later, when I woke up and checked the app. There was now a 4th section, labeled photos. This seemed odd to me, as I didn't know what photos it would have taken, seeing as my phone was often under my pillow. I clicked on it, and it was photos from the security cameras. It never asked me to update the app's permissions, and I hadn't even updated the app in about a week. I clicked through the photos, and everything was normal, save for a rabbit in our yard visible from the outside cam. It wasn't the pictures that weirded me out, it was just the fact that the feature shouldn't have even been there in the first place. Again, I simply brushed it aside, figuring it was already a feature that just unlocked after I connected to the cameras or something. The photos themselves were always pretty normal, with the most interesting ones being when a deer, rabbit, or stray cat found itself in our yard. Everything was fine, everything was normal, until this morning. Comment for part 2.